Oh, hey everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. All right, so Mal Smith
Mal.
is
Yeah.
hanging out, and he's gonna wait for someone to bring him some food, so he can try and hypnotize them. That is the plan.
Yeah.
All right.
So how long are you going to wait, and what are you doing while you're waiting?
I'm pacing nervously and then lying on my bed and be like, just calm down. Wait, what if they come? No, I should be right. I don't know. And he's just kind of freaking out. This is his
For how
first real
long will
foray
he
into the
freak
world.
out for?
He's gonna freak out until someone shows up. He doesn't have his shit
Okay.
together yet.
Yeah. So like 3 hours later, you hear a knock at your door.
Uh, just
Supper.
just a
You,
moment and then come in. And then I start chanting a spell and hoping that by the time they open the door, I'm just about done.
yeah. So it takes about a minute to cast a spell, doesn't it? Unless
I mean,
it's.
casting time
I mean,
one, yeah.
okay. So why don't we roll initiative just for the fuck of it,
Five. Five whole initiatives,
including the +1?
including the plus one.
Yeah. So you've got yeah. I mean, you're. Let me read this spell. It's hypnosis,
Hypnotism.
hypnotism.
And I will give you the link to just my list of spells so you don't have to sort through everything.
Yeah. Okay. No material components or anything. So you have to give her a. The gestures of the wizard, along with his droning incantation, cause 1d4 or 1d6 creatures within the area to become susceptible to suggestion. A brief and reasonable sounding request. Um. Yeah. So you hear the knock and you say, just a minute, and then you start, and I mean, you've basically like you're ready to cast the spell. You've like got it time. You're probably waiting until the door opens,
Mm-hmm.
and it does that round. Standing before you is that same half orc barmaid from before. She is holding a tray of beef and potatoes and sort of crocks her head as you're. I mean, what does it look like when you're casting this hypnotism spell?
I am tracing a star in the air in front of me
Mm-hmm.
while murmuring my arcane words in a kind of a droning.
Yeah.
She makes a saving throw with a penalty
Ooh.
of 2. If the
Wow.
spell is cast at an individual creature that meets the caster's gaze, the saving throw is made with a penalty of 2.
Okay, I think she probably fails, even though she rolled pretty well.
I think the
Um,
saving throw for a 0th level creature is 19.
yeah, that's what I was figuring.
Mm, yeah, it is 19. So she would
Yeah,
literally need to roll a 20.
yeah. So she fails and locks your gaze, and mouth drops agape. She looks like she's about to drop the plate on the floor. I think you've got a couple of seconds to get in a quick suggestion.
It's very hot in here. Perhaps you should cool yourself off by removing your clothing.
So yeah, she drops the plate and it clatters to the floor. The door is still. She's standing in the doorway,
Right.
and she starts to undo her. Like she's got like a leather apron on.
Hmm.
She undoes first, and she just starts disrobing right there in the right there in your
As
doorway.
she starts disrobing, I move over
Let
and like
me.
move the stuff that she dropped, and then I just shut the door on her. So she's out in the hall.
Bum. Yeah, she's like, yeah. So say that again. How did you try to get her out of the hall?
No, I try and like shut the door so she's stuck in the hall.
There's a plate of spilled food
Yeah,
in the
that's
doorway.
why I tried to pull it out of the way first.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so she's like, it is hot, and she's like starting to remove her. I mean, she's got her apron tossed on the floor, her shirt's coming off, and you slam the door in her face.
Hmm. Gently shut it. I'm not rude.
Hmm.
I'm just evil.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't even wait long enough to get a look?
Oh God,
Who
no.
is this? Who is this guy?
He's very shy. Do not, he doesn't have any balls yet.
Yeah.
He's
So what
only
do you, I
17.
mean, a couple of seconds have passed since you shut the door. You're standing on a
Can I
slice of
I try and
roast.
look through the keyhole and see what I can
There's
see.
no peephole. There's a keyhole, but
That's what I said, the
you
keyhole,
can't
the
see through
keyhole.
it.
But you can see
In
through a
fact, there's
skeleton
actually,
keyhole. My bedroom in San Francisco had a skeleton key that you could see through.
all right, whatever. You can see through the keyhole. I don't know how these
Yes.
old timey keys work. I'll defer
They
to your
It's
living
literally
in
like a
poverty
hole
in
that
San
runs all the way
Francisco.
through. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're pretty janky.
Yeah. You see a pair of pants drop in front of the keyhole and flop to the floor. And footsteps.
I wait for the footsteps to start going down a staircase, and then I open the door.
Yeah, there's a pile
And
of clothes at the front of the door and
I just
no
move
one
them
in
to
the
the door
hallway.
next to mine, and
Uh-huh.
then head down the staircase after her.
Okay. As you reach the top of the staircase, you hear some shouts and jeers from below, followed by a ah and lots of clamor.
Uh, I head downstairs. I got to see what's going on. I also got to figure out how she's going to react.
Um, by the time you get down there, I mean, you don't see any sign of the half orc. You see the three drunkards have stood and are hooting and hollering towards a closed door to the kitchen,
Hmm.
still sort of flapping freely.
What happened,
And
guys?
they're like, "You missed the show." You
What? There
see,
was a show?
like, yeah, Brienne came down in her birthday suit. I've been wait. One of the guys is like nearly in tears. I've been waiting my whole life for this.
Oh. Oh, that's cool, guys. Is she gonna do it again?
I wouldn't count your blessings.
Aren't you supposed to count your blessings?
I don't know. Then maybe you can.
Okay. And then I go back upstairs and get some food. And I'm pretty much done for the day. I will try and run downstairs, go back down tomorrow while I'm killing time, and see if she remembers me hypnotizing her and how she reacts to all that.
Yeah. So the night passes uneventfully. You hole up in your room. Are you just hoarding your dishes, or do you put them out or anything?
I think I hoard the dishes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, no one will disturb you over the course of the night.
Okay.
But
Next
let me
morning.
check this. The spell. If the creature fails the saving throw, it does not remember the caster and spelled it.
Is that in the spell itself?
It's in the spell itself.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Cool.
Following morning, you wake up.
Mm-hmm. Following morning,
Actually,
I
what did
wake
you
up,
do all night? You probably had
slept, read,
like okay,
practiced
or
my
do you just like
spells.
can you sleep early and wake or like go to sleep early and wake up early? Is that
I
kind
think
of
I
your
would just hole up
personality
in my
or
room, like going through my spell book and reciting the things. I mean, I'm a wizard. I spend all my free time just chanting and practicing and going over the correct pronunciation of things and making practicing my symbols and going through my spell components, which I may have some of. What do I have? Read. I so I have a clear crystal prism for read magic. I have a few pieces of string. All right, yeah. So that's just. So I'll play with my crystal. Take a look at my scraps of wood and my pieces of string, and just kind of practice, 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 practice.
sure? Yeah, okay. You spend the night twiddling your stick or whatever you said, and wake up the next morning. Yeah, nobody
Excellent.
bothers you. What spell do you memorize?
I would like to memorize detect magic for the day. I think that is the spell to know.
Interesting. And you're actually pretty hungry. Did you eat the floor beef?
As long, I mean, I looked at it. If it wasn't like filthy, yeah, I ate it.
The meat was fine, but like the potatoes are just like ground into the hardwood floor and like.
I'll eat the top layer of potatoes,
Okay.
and then I'll just leave the mess on the floor. And then I'll get uncomfortable about it partway through the night and like clean it up with a pillowcase.
This guy is chaotic evil. All right.
He's chaotic. He might actually be chaotic neutral. We'll see. I think that's probably a closer representation, but
The viewers will be disappointed.
I think I think he's chaotic neutral with like an evil streak that runs through him. Chaotic. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm still feeling him out. So the next day, I head downstairs. I try and, if Brienne's around, I will grab her attention and get myself some food.
When she is not around, there's some fat dude
Hi. Are you the
slanging.
person from which I order food?
Yeah.
I'd like some
Uh,
food, please. Breakfast,
egg,
whatever you have.
eggs and potatoes. All we
Sure.
got. Take it
Okay.
or leave it.
I'm up in room 11, if that matters. But
It doesn't matter.
okay. Okay,
It'll
good to
be
know.
six copper either way. And he starts to
Uh,
fetch you a plate.
okay, I fiddle around and produce another gold coin.
Gold coin.
Yes.
He looks surprised, but eventually makes change and gives you your eggs and potatoes in exchange.
You said it was 6 copper?
6 copper.
Okay. Yeah, trying to make myself small change. Cool. Is in the morning, how crowded is this place?
A little more than it was when you walked in, but
Okay.
still it seems like there's a lot of empty seats. You're not sure if this place is just not frequented
I'm
or if
going
you've missed the
to
busy hours.
I'm going to wait like an hour after I finish my breakfast. I'll just kind of like hang down in the common room, looking at my spellbook and practicing again. And if the bar clears out a little bit more, I would like, well, after an hour, I'm going to take an action, but let me know if it clears out more or less.
Yeah. Within about a half hour, 45 minutes, the place is emptied out.
Okay.
There's still there's maybe about a dozen people still around. I mean, it's not the same people, but different group of people have come in to get their breakfast or whatever.
Okay. So I wait for a point where it seems like the bar is pretty much empty or entirely empty. And then in the practice of my spells, I will actually cast Detect Magic.
Hmm.
And try and scope out the inn, the Traveler's Oasis, looking for magical anything.
Yeah, are you trying to be subtle about this?
I mean, I'm trying to like mix it in with the rest of my practice. So I'm trying to be subtle, like I'm just practicing another spell. Um, then again, I don't
But
know if there's any
you are
visual
you're
component.
casting this though in the common room, right?
Yeah.
Um. You catch the attention of at least someone at a nearby table stares at you while you're doing your but no one stops you. You cast your spell, and you detect no magic. I mean, you're gonna have to like move around, right?
Yeah, I can scan a 60-degree arc per round in a 10 by 60 path.
Mm-hmm.
So I will, the first round it's a 2-round spell for me. So I'll just scan these 60 degrees, and then the next round I'll scan those 60 degrees.
Yeah, so you cover most of the bar. None of the patrons have any magical items on them.
And there's no magical items behind the bar because it will detect things through stone
like
of 1 foot, metal of 1 inch, or a yard or more of wood. So looking through the building, maybe something behind the bar, maybe something in the kitchen.
No, there's no magical rat cleavers in the kitchen.
Okay. Then I just continue my day. I do keep an eye out for those abbots, and after a while of waiting for the abbots, I will ask the innkeeper, the
Oh yeah,
barman,
yeah, that's right. They are staying here.
if Peter and Peter have come in.
Peter and Peter? That is
Yeah, the
the
two guys. They're both
Batman
called
kind of
Peter.
rumor.
Are they here? Have you seen them?
Met a lot of Peters. What do
Uh,
they look like?
what is a tall man, short brown hair? The other was a little bit shorter and a little bit chubby with red hair. They both wear orange jumpsuits.
Roll an intel check.
21.
Yeah, I mean, so the short one wasn't chubby, and neither of them really had much hair. They were like shaved
Okay, I
pretty.
didn't remember. You had called
Yeah.
them Pete and Pete, so I was going off of the
No,
descriptions of
they
that.
both had like weirdly shaved heads,
Okay,
and neither was. Both were pretty
I
slim,
described them that
tall
way
and
then.
short. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. The monks. They got up a couple hours before you, and haven't seen them since.
Okay, well, that's a
They
shame.
got potatoes for breakfast, turned down the eggs, and left just after sunrise.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Okay. I'm just gonna go sit down now, and I go sit down. After a little while of contemplation, I really want some magic spells, but I don't have anything. I don't have any ideas. I'm gonna follow the Pete's. We'll figure it out then. So I just kill the rest of the day practicing my incantations in the common room.
I can't believe you're going to follow these Pete's. Of all of the magical possibilities in the glorious city of Solstice, you've glommed onto this Pete cult, and you're going to follow them to your doom in the mountains. All right.
It'll be
So we
fantastic.
can, I mean, fork up another uh, 4 silver, or I guess 5 silver, including meals,
Okay.
and you can do whatever you'd like, I guess.
I just practice my incantations and
You just
read my
hide in
spell
your
book.
room the whole time.
I'll do it in the common room until it starts to fill up, and then I'll go back to my room.
Okay. It stays empty most of the day. It doesn't start filling up till around 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, and then at that point, you head into the common room when people start filtering in,
No, 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 no. I,
or go to your room. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, I go up to my room when people start filtering in, when it gets a little bit
okay,
too crowded and noisy for me. And I just wait until the next day, and then I'll wake up and head to the library.
sure, sounds good. Yeah, I mean, nobody bugs you. Nothing, no crazy bar fights or anything. Um, so unless you have any questions, I guess we can breeze through the night.
Let's
What
breeze
spell do
through.
you memorize this next day?
This next day, I'm a little bit worried about the Pete's, so I'm going to get myself some burning hands. Um,
You gonna set Pete on fire?
no, just it might be nice to have some defense mechanisms ready in case the Pete's try and do anything funny.
Sure.
Mal had an uncle once who kept talking about purity and cleansing and shit, and he was a pervert. So you can
These
never,
guys seem a little like perverts too,
yeah,
or maybe they're just spiritual,
something. There's something fishy about
something like
them.
that. All
The
right. So you wake up this next morning,
hmm
the morning of the third day. Memorize your burning hands.
yeah, that's it. And
And
I go to the library to meet the Pete's.
yeah. By the way, Brienne never came back to the bar. You're not sure if it wasn't her shift or
Okay.
what. But you didn't see her that second day. The third day, the same fat guy is working the bar.
hmm
And you step out into the street. You can see the sun rising over the town wall to your east.
Okay. I go to the library.
Yeah. So you go to the library, and the streets are pretty empty at this hour. You see a few people, mostly walking towards the library. A few priests and skinny-armed scholars trudging to their day at work. You approach the library. You see a single guard standing by the door and two men in orange jumpsuits standing next to the statue of Lady Justice.
I wave at them and walk on over.
You wave enthusiastically back. Malcolm Smith, it is so good to see you.
Hi there.
The tall Pete says, and they both bow in unison.
How's it going? I'm ready for our journey.
Yes, we've been waiting for hours.
I'm sorry. I was staying at the Traveler's Oasis. I guess I just got up late. I hope you're not mad.
No. You notice neither of them is carrying any gear. Like no backpacks, no weapons. Shoes. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
They start walking. They gesture you to start walking with them south down the main road.
I do.
Okay. All right. You walk, 1,000 feet or so to the crossroads, maybe more, 2,000 feet or so to the crossroads, and then head east out of town.
Okay. So as we exit the town, I go, so where exactly is it that we're going?
They say. It is hard to say. The road manifests itself before us.
Okay.
One cannot always know the way that they travel.
Okay. Have you been this way before?
Yes. In my past and my future.
Oh, okay.
Says the short Pete as the tall Pete nods along.
Is the way dangerous?
No more, no less than usual. The way is always uncertain.
Oh, okay. So what do you guys like to do in your free time when you're not cleansing?
So about this time you reach the eastern gate. It is wide open at this point. There's a small structure built up on top of it with whatever those set up with a little lip so that archers or something could hide behind on the top of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
The gate's wide open though. There is a white-robed hooded figure standing beside, actually one on each side. These guys wielding spears. But the gate is open, and Pete direct you outside of town.
I follow behind.
Yeah. Let's see.
Step onto the road, and do you want to run musical interludes and stuff? Or should I be running it?
I'm not prepared. Let's see.
I really wanted that mount spell. It would have been perfect for right now.
Ditch Pete and Pete as you trot off on horseback?
No, I would have just gone alongside them, but it would have been cool having my own horse.
A magic horse? Is mount level 1?
Yeah.
Dang.
I don't know how long it lasts, though. It might have just been for an hour or two at my level. Mount. 2 hours plus 1 hour per level, yeah. So I would have had a horse for 3 hours.
Pretty cool. You can play music.
So
you step out of the town gate. You see the road here is pretty wide, but you can see up ahead that splits, one heading east and one curving south towards the mountain. But Pete and Pete take a right turn and immediately start walking through some random farmer's field due north.
Where are we going? This doesn't look like the road.
That is your first lesson.
Don't take the road?
Shh. Focus. I do not want to hear another word from you until you see the road before you. And they just start stomping on this poor farmer's lettuce as they start heading due north.
Okay. I follow behind them. And I don't say anything for a few hours. Is there any? Do they have any?
They walk in complete silence, and it's really quite awkward. How long do you think you hold out before saying anything?
I wait like 3 hours, and then I go. I think I see the road before me.
So you spend a couple of. The first 20 minutes or so is trudging through these fields. Once you get shouted at by a farmer telling you, "Hey, you're breaking my corn." The Pete's scutter off, and you sprint to catch up and continue on. After a short time, you're wandering through open land, foothills, short, squat trees and bushes. Kind of use the chirping of birds, but not a soul in sight at this point. You go on like this for a couple of hours. You pass a couple of farms in the meantime, ranches and whatnot tucked amongst the brush. But they seem to be just leading you out into the wilderness, and no one has said a word.
We're headed south,
the only word
right?
you've heard is that farm. No, you're heading north.
North, okay. So after I let them know that I know.
So you say after a couple of hours, I see the road. I see the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Then
Tall Pete says, "What color is it?"
It's brown. It's a brown dirt road.
His brow furrows, and
lined with gemstones.
They stop and look at you.
I think
gemstones. You say?
Yes, but the middle is brown. I think
gemstones. Says the Tall Pete, who gets an elbow in the ribs from Short Pete.
I think the brown represents the simplicity of my life, and the gemstones are the beautiful lining.
Short Pete says, "Withhold your judgment, Malcolm." Malcolm Smith.
God, I'm gonna kill these dogs.
Take the gemstones as they are.
Oh, okay. What type of road do you guys see?
That is not important. It is now time for you to lead the way. And they stand and stare at you.
Okay. This is kind of like an open plain area, or is this like a forested area? Or?
It's chaparral, so it's like thick brush and sort of dry and sort of rolling hills. You can see before you are sloping up to mountains.
So Central California.
A couple of miles. You're not sure if you'll even reach the mountains today.
Okay, so like Central California.
How did you know my inspiration? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I bushwhack it blindly through the bushes. Just.
So they were sort of avoiding bushes as they were going. Like they seemed to be intentionally taking the easiest route. Do you switch things up and bushwhack, or?
I mean, I will. If there's a bush in my way, I'll go around it. But I head north. Like I beeline towards the mountain.
Okay. I mean, so that's roughly the way they were going.
Yeah. I don't mind running into the bushes. That 17 con, I shrug off the thorns and just push my way through everything.
Yeah, they seem to be struggling a little bit to keep up, actually. Do you say anything?
Not for at least 45 minutes.
Okay. I mean, they're once again walking in complete silence. These guys are really awkward and not very pleasant traveling companions.
After 45 minutes, you guys need to keep up. You don't
They're
want to be
they're
left behind.
they're pretty much right behind you.
Okay.
Short Pete says we are following our own way. Fortunately, it seems to be leading the same way that you're going.
I think I might just kill them. At some
I mean,
point,
you're the thought crosses your mind. You're looking around. You're out here in the middle of nowhere. You're not sure where they're taking you, or where you're taking them, or who's in charge.
I'm gonna wait till we stop for lunch. So as the sun approaches its zenith, I say, we
That's
should
about
probably
now. You
we should
yeah.
we should probably stop for lunch, don't you think?
Tall Pete says, I saw some berries just a little ways back. And he sprints off into the bushes.
I look at Short Pete.
Short Pete.
You didn't bring any food?
No, the journey is my sustenance.
Of course it is. That makes perfect sense.
Do you have any food? Do you have any rations or anything?
No, of course not. I
So
thought
you break for lunch and you're both just staring at each other. They don't even have backpacks.
you know, little Pete, you don't seem very prepared.
How do you mean?
You don't have any food, you don't have any backpack, you don't have a tent or something soft to sleep on, and I don't even know if you have any money.
Your point?
Do you have any money? How are you paying for your in-room?
You do notice a coin purse at Little Pete's side.
I asked the question anyway.
You don't get a response. He stares blankly at you. How long do you stand there?
I just start making a fire.
It's the middle of the day, by the way.
Yeah, well, I'll sit down and like start snapping twigs and branches and like getting.
Do you have a
things ready
fire
for-
building proficiency?
I do.
Okay. Roll 1d10, I think.
1.
Oh wow! So you actually get a fire started in a minute, and then about another minute or two later, Tall Pete comes back with some small purplish berries. Maybe they look kind of like hard and dry. You're not sure where he got them. He brings them back and presents them. Look what I found, guys!
Oh, those are Goldmitch berries, I think. My family used to have them on their farm.
They don't look like any berries you've seen. They almost look like they've got like a little like husk around the outside. I mean, they're berry sized.
Yeah.
But they look like they've got like a dry exterior.
You know, those berries are really best served heated. I've almost got this fire going. I do have a fire going, right?
Yes, you have the fire going.
Oh, as I said, we used to have them on our farm, so if you just put them around the outside of the fire and let them warm up, they'll be much better.
Short Pete says, "Wow, that was really impressive how you built that fire so quickly. You are truly the light of our way." Tall
the
Pete
light
dumps
does
the berries
surround
in the
us all.
fire like this, and he just sort of like puts the berries at the fire.
I position myself when the two of them are near each other, and
You're all three sort of standing around the fire.
Okay, well then I just back up a few feet so that they're about 3 feet away from me, and I put my hands in a 120-degree wedge shape and start chanting some arcane words and bust
Tall
a
Pete
move.
says, "What are you talking about?" And they roll saving throws. Ooh. Roll for damage.
3 points of damage.
Is that... Ooh. Holy fuck!
Dude, do they have a ton of life?
They have a ton of life. They both look hardly affected. They scream and shout and leap back. Say, Malcolm Smith, why? Why? As their orange jumpsuit catch fire.
Oh God.
Roll for initiative.
Hold on. I'm also trying to set some of the brush on fire around me if I can. I don't know if that's gonna work or not.
Oh God, yeah, you were in like a little thicket with just a small dirt patch for your lair and like the dry brush ablaze,
Nice.
and their jumpsuits as well. So there's just like flames erupting from everywhere as
All
you
right.
roll for initiative.
Roll for initiative.
Yeah, they're both still standing though. And what did you roll?
14. This is not going well. I think Malcolm is not long for this world.
All right. Well. All right. Tall Pete screeches and actually dives for you. Totally just like bumbling and like stomping through the fire as he storms past you. Ooh. How much damage did you do with your burning hands? Is it 3?
I did 3.
All right. He's basically a flaming man at this point, sort of flailing around trying to get you. Short Pete, however, is chanting and waving his arms.
Short Pete is fucking spellcaster? I have spellcraft.
Roll a proficiency check.
Fucking bitches. They said magic was not cool. They lied to me. Ooh, natural 1 on my spellcraft.
You don't really know. So Tall Pete was like, "What are you doing?" And like goes to like try and restrain you as he's like flailing around on fire. Short Pete is still on fire, but less on fire, and approaches Tall Pete. You see like blue light glowing from his hands, and he puts his hand on Tall Pete's burning shirt. Tall Pete breathes a sigh of relief, looking invigorated, but still on fire. And so now Tall Pete is standing next to you. Short Pete has his hands on his back.
Okay.
And they're both sort of staring at you.
I take my
As
quarterstaff and I go to
turn.
whack Short Pete in the head.
Roll the hit.
Can I get a flank on him?
You can get a back attack if you like. You can circle around the fire
6.
behind him, including back attack.
Yeah. Oh,
Nope.
God.
No, you miss.
Okay, then I will use the rest of my movement to. I guess if I'm behind, I'm going to try and leave the burning bush and head right back towards Solstice. So
All right,
I'll use the rest of my turn
dash
to.
off into the bushes.
I don't know if that provokes an
attack?
OA or anything.
Neither of them are armed.
AO.
I mean, they have arms, but they don't have
Yeah.
a weapon. So you sprint off into the bushes, leaving the burning monks behind. Do you stop to look, or are you just?
Oh
go?
yeah, I just want to move like one round away and then turn, and like, I want the bushfire to spread and to block them from retreating to Solstice. I'm gonna count on the bushes setting them on fire and killing them.
Roll initiative.
Five.
All right. You hear the voice of Tall Pete shouting, "Why, Malcolm Smith? Why?" But you're like 60 yards away. You can see the smoke rising and the flames, but no one emerges from the blaze.
Okay. I stay in ready position, and my ready action will be if I see someone, I will move to them and attack them.
Roll a perception check.
20 plus 10. Not 110, just 10. 23. Massive success.
Okay. So you do see a glint of orange beyond where the fire is, moving north. It's only about 90 yards off, so you think you could sprint to them if you wanted to, but they're on the other side of the fire, moving away.
No. No, I think
So
that's
it's the
fine.
hill sort of sloping upward. You sort of catch a glimpse of them sprinting from bush to bush, but they're clear of the fire,
But they're going
moving.
uphill.
They're going uphill. Yeah,
Those fools.
you would have to as well.
Yeah, and I don't chase after them. They should no longer be a threat to me. I turn around and start
They were never
plotting.
really a threat to you. Let's be honest.
They're a threat to my sanity. I turn around and start plotting back towards Solstice, going over my head of what the hell I should do now. Yeah. So I just start head back to Solstice.
Alrighty. Okay. Behind you is a cackling forest or cackling brush fire and smoke rising. And you have a rather uneventful trip back to Solstice. The sun is just setting as you start to see the farmhouses take shape in the south. You retrace your steps.
Yeah,
Eventually
I'm
make-
actually going to stop off at a farmhouse on my way back instead of going all the way
Yeah,
into
the
the city.
the farms that you saw are like just outside of town.
Okay.
So you basically they basically walked out the town gate and then walked parallel to the wall due north
Right.
past these farmhouses. So there were a few hours out of town. Or like an hour or two out
You
of
know,
town.
no. He thinks about approaching a farmhouse, but decides it's too awkward, and instead goes straight back to Solstice.
Okay. Mouse cables. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, you can smell smoke on the breeze. You're pretty sure you did just start a pretty massive brush fire.
Nice.
About sunset, you make your way back to the eastern gate of Solstice, and there you are.
I head back to the Traveler's Oasis and ask for a room. Is it still the man, or is Brienne back on duty?
No, Brienne is back on. She flashes you a smile and says, "How's it going?"
It's okay.
Um,
I'd like my room again, please. Let me get
Sure thing.
a room.
And dinner?
And dinner, yes.
You feel a little awkward, but she doesn't seem at all perturbed by what went down the other night.
Okay. Good. So
You're
then
pretty
I
sure she
grab,
doesn't remember.
I grab some food and dinner, and
5 silver.
I pay up with silver, and I give a glance around the common room, looking for someone of interest.
Yeah, it's packed at this point. It's mostly full of interesting characters. There's sellswords and warriors.
I want to just
You
kind
see a
of.
robed figure who you're pretty sure is a wizard of some kind.
Oh yeah, I want to go talk to that dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I approach the robed figure.
Yeah, so he's got on a set of white robes. He's sitting at a table, actually poring over a book while drinking an ale. It's like a young guy, clean shaven, disheveled brown hair.
Hi, my name's Mal.
He looks up. He says,
Malcolm Smith.
Oh. He extends a hand. Gareth.
Hi,
do I
Gareth.
know you?
I shake his hand greedily.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk magic? I know some really cool spells. Maybe we could trade some?
He shuts his book and says, sure, have a seat. What's your roll a charisma check for me?
R20 plus 8. Oh yeah, 13 charisma checks.
Yeah. So that was pretty much how it sounded. Yeah, have a seat. And he shoves his book into his bag.
So how long have you been studying magic? God, an Indian food is burning a hole in my stomach.
I suppose it's been damn near a decade now, at least
Oh,
since
wow. It's a
I,
long time. You must be a very powerful spellcaster.
I wouldn't say that. Are do you have the gift yourself?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm a little tired right now, so I can't perform for you, but I I
That's
am gifted, they would say.
that's all right. I'm sure you are.
So, do you want to
So
trade some
how?
spells?
I mean, I'm not sure. What?
I mean,
What do
I've
you?
got these 6 spells with me, and maybe you want one of them, and then maybe I can give one of yours, and then we'll both not benefit. They say that in the transaction of knowledge, both parties gain wealth.
Oh man. So are you presenting your spellbook when you say this?
I pull it out of my bag, my little satchel, and I set it down on the table with my hand on it, and I do not.
Hmm.
I mean, I leave my hand on it while it sits there.
He sort of looks you up and down. You got your hand on the spellbook?
Hmm.
He takes a glance at it, but appears unconcerned. Uh, sure. Let's have a drink. It's a little late for studying.
Yeah, of course. I meant like tomorrow or something. You know, when you're not busy.
Whenever you're free,
Yeah.
literally. Whenever you're free. I have nothing going on right now. Right.
So I have a drink with him. You said your name was Gareth? That's a fun name.
I suppose my mama gave it to me.
Are you from around here?
Yes, actually. Soul's just born and raised.
That's nice. I came from over the water.
Most do.
Yeah.
Or I suppose from over the land.
Well, not me. I came from the water. As I'm here to learn as much about magic as I can and get more powerful with my spells.
Well, you came to the right place. Have you chosen a discipline yet?
No,
School?
my teacher told me about the schools, but I've never. He died, and that's why I left is in search of a new teacher, and I haven't figured out where the schools are yet.
Well, they're not literal schools.
Well,
They're
I know that. I mean, metaphorical schools, philosophies of thought, right?
exactly.
What are you? What is your philosophy of thought?
My philosophy. I am a diviner, but I don't know if that extends to my philosophy. Maybe it does.
So you like to. Oh, never mind. That was gonna be a bad joke. I'm sorry. Um,
What?
no,
See
nothing.
things?
It was
Know
embarrassing and
things?
stupid. No. I was thinking about conjuring. What do you know about conjuring?
It's actually kind of curious. That may actually be like directly opposed
Ooh,
to.
it might be.
Yeah, that's exactly the opposite. I don't know a thing about it. It's a somewhat contradictory school of thought.
Really?
Yes. I mean,
You
clearly
know,
the evidence is there. They are able to, the summoners are able to conjure these physical creations from other dimensions or wherever they get it from. But in my mentor holds that the world is as it is, and it is. I mean, and through sensing the magical energies, we're able to detect and interact with the world, but to create or change that which already is I don't know, it's beyond me.
Oh, well, I was really hoping I could, conjure things into existence. I think it'd be really cool to bring a golem into existence and control it and do stuff with it. That'd be fun.
Yes, yes, that would be fun.
I guess I just make small chat with Gareth for a while.
Sure, yeah,
Um,
he's happy to make small chat for a little while. Roll a charisma check.
I'm gonna try and change some spells with him. 22.
Yeah, so he chats with you for a couple of hours. Is there anything you wish to gain from this interaction? I've already heard the
Just
spells, but
the
any
promise
information?
of spells the next day.
Yeah, he tells you to stop by the library, at 11.
Oh yeah. All right, let's do it. That'd be great.
He says there's a reading room on the third floor, the west wall.
Yeah, I know the room. I was there yesterday, or the day before that. I don't know.
Do you drop any hints as to what spells you have, or
Nope.
okay? All right. After a couple of hours, he excuses himself and
Okay.
leaves.
Cool. Then I, content with the success of the day, I retire for the evening and wait tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. So you already paid. Yeah. You go to sleep. What spell do you memorize in the morning?
I will memorize Read Magic.
Good choice.
A very good choice. Ooh, wait a minute. Hold on. No, I'm going to memorize Unseen Servant.
Are you now?
I am. And just before I leave my room in the morning, I will cast Unseen Servant.
All right.
And
How long does it last?
an hour plus 10 rounds per level. So 70 minutes.
All right. So you leave the Traveler's Oasis first thing in the morning and head down the Marble Causeway
Well, no, I mean,
towards Crossroads.
not first thing in the morning. I guess I leave just before 11.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
So you have your breakfast. Do you have your breakfast?
Yes. Do I need to pay more
Six
for that?
silver.
Six silver.
6 copper.
Okay. I give them another gold piece.
And they make change.
Okay. Cool. And then I head to the third floor and look about. So I'll cast Unseen Servant and then I'll just have it follow along me as I walk through town.
Sure. Yeah. Are there any interesting aspects of that spell casting that I need to be aware of?
No.
Unseen Servant. You do need a piece of string and a bit of wood.
Yeah.
Did you have that to begin with, or
Yes.
do you? Okay.
Yeah, I have like
Yep,
some
yep, yep.
some flecks of bark and just I pull a string out of my shirt.
Yeah. So they can pretty much go anywhere, but you have it follow behind you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you reach the library. There's a guard outside, but you walk past him up to the third floor.
Yes.
Where do you head?
I look for
Towards
a
the top of the
reading
staircase?
area. Yeah, I mean, I go to the top of the staircase and I start looking around for him, for that study alcove that he was talking about.
Yeah. Do you recall where that was? Roll an intel check. if you've
Yes,
forgotten.
it was on the west wall.
Yeah.
So I head to
So
the
you head over
west.
to the west side of the building, and you notice that there are a couple of doorways up against the wall, and you see Gareth hanging out outside of them.
Okay. I go, "Hi, Gareth!"
Nods.
and wave wildly at him.
Ah, Malcolm, how's it going? He opens the
Good.
door.
It's good. How are you?
Doing well. He gestures you into this small a small room. It's probably only about 10 by 10. There's a desk in the center of it and a window facing out the western wall. But otherwise, it's pretty bleak.
Okay.
You
I
notice there are a pair of books on the table.
I sit down opposite him if I can.
Yeah. There's actually 2 chairs on the same side of the table.
Okay. Then I will sit next to him, pull out my book, and plop it down.
Yeah. How are you able to command your servant? Do you have to like give awkward
I
commands, or
think
can
it's
you just do it with your mind?
telepathy. Unfailingly obeys the
Yeah.
commands of a wizard. I mean, I guess I would just assume, I was under the impression it was telepathic control. If you would like to rule otherwise, let me know.
Nah, that's fine. We can say that you can just control it with your mind.
Yes.
So where do you place it?
I want to
Where's
place it kind of on the other side of the table, or just like floating on the table a little bit, just floating in the air above us.
Yeah.
And then I will hand him my book and be like, "This is what I have. Why don't you take a look?" And then while I've handed him my book, I will tell the unseen servant to slide one of the other ones that's on the table to like the edge, and then lift it up. I guess I can just lift. Like
Yeah, I
lift the
can
book.
pick up a book.
Yeah, lift up the book, like move it under the table, out and around the corner, and like onto a shelf.
There's no shelves, so the
There's
only
no
furniture
shelves
in
on the
this room
library?
is the chairs and there's shelf outside the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but the door's shut, isn't it?
Yes,
Shit.
you shut it behind you. So you're shut in this 10 by 10 room with a wizard and your unseen servant.
Oh,
So he's
no.
taking your spellbook and is thumbing through it,
Okay.
looking through your notes. It's probably only, I mean, we'd have to actually determine, but it's something like, it's only like a couple dozen pages, right?
Yeah. Oh no, this is not going to work. I can't.
So
Get
he's
a
currently
spellbook.
thumbing through your spellbook now. You've probably got a minute or two. You're pretty sure he can't read your inscriptions without a read magic spell, but
I stand up and go, "Is there a lavatory around here somewhere?"
he says, "Yeah, the room at the."
I hold the door open while he says this.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I mean he's still sitting.
Right. But he gives me
Sitting in
directions.
front of the 3 books. Yeah, he says, "Yeah, it's the room at the end of the, or in the north corner."
So after he says that, I step out. I don't shut the door all the way. I like close it, but leave it open about yay much. And then I give my unseen servant the command: take his book, lift it, and slide it out the door. But like lift it off the table, go to the edge of the table, go under the table on the opposite side of him, go all the way to ground floor, turn the book vertically, slip it out through the doorway, and then place it on a shelf.
All right, so just one of the random books.
One of the 2 books that he had on the table.
Yeah, roll a dexterity check for your unseen servant to be sneaky. Maybe I'll allow an intelligence check from you.
What do you want to do?
So assume that let's give the unseen servant dexterity equal to your intelligence. So do an intelligence
Fantastic.
check.
17.
Yeah, so you're in the lavatory during all this, right?
No, I have to remain within 30 feet of my unseen servant, so I like stand
So
on
it's
the other side of the
about-
wall until I see the book come out.
Okay. All right. You hear a hey, hey, and you see the book like floating out the door, and Gareth comes chasing after it.
I
Roll initiative.
12. Oh god, this is not going well.
So Gareth stumbles out of the room. He makes his grab for the book, but isn't actually able to get it. Your unseen servant. I mean, you can direct your unseen servant in real time,
Okay.
but he doesn't. He isn't able to snatch it away from the moving servant.
I mean, I keep
he
the
doesn't
book
appear to notice
going
you.
down the hallway a little. He doesn't
How
notice
fast
me?
can it move? He doesn't. He doesn't turn to look at you or anything.
Okay.
How fast can unseen servant move?
Not quickly at all. I think it's like 30 feet and around.
I've got the abbreviated
It doesn't
version.
say.
Really?
Maybe actually in the player's handbook?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. You've just got the abbreviated version.
No. I mean, it's got a 30-foot radius.
So I guess it can move as fast as it needs to, but it
Mhm.
has to stay within 30 feet of you.
Yeah. So I just send it a bit down the hall and kind of have it move the book around, like into bookshelves and then back out, or maybe out the other side. I try and have it be as confusing and chaotic as possible. And while it does so, I'm going to try and slip back in the room and grab both the books on the table, which should be mine and one of
There's-
his.
All right. Roll a perception check.
28.
Okay. He has your book in his hand as he's chasing your servant. So you attempt to slip behind him.
Mm-hmm.
He's only a few feet away. Roll a dexterity check.
11.
He turns to you and mouth agape, and notices you trying to slip behind him. It's those sort of, you haven't really made an action, so it's your turn. But
Okay.
he's like,
I get in and shut the door and look outward, like horrified.
you can't see out from the room.
Oh, there's no window.
So you step in, shut the door, lock
No.
yourself.
I had just
Oh, there's a
assumed there's
window.
a glass window.
A window to the outside, but not to.
No, I meant window to the from the
No,
study
it's an
room.
enclosed stone room
Okay.
with a wooden door.
Then I go, the bathroom was full. What's going on?
Roll initiative again if you're not going to do anything.
Depending on his reaction, whether his reaction is hostile or friendly, I would
So
like
he's
to finish my turn.
he's ignoring you and trying to get his damn book back from this unseen servant.
Okay. In that case, I will step
And
inside.
the shouting and the hollering is beginning to attract the attention of nearby library goers. So you step inside the reading room.
Yeah, and I will put whatever book is on the table into my bag, and then step back out.
Roll another dexterity check, and then followed by initiative.
12 for the dex.
Not going well.
And 4 for the initiative.
At least you get to go first. Yeah, so you go first. But you pretty sure he turned and stares at you as you're like shoving the book in your bag.
Okay. I mean, balls to the walls. I run towards him, and I'm going to try and rip my book out of his hand and run down the stairs.
Okay, I rolled a hit to grab the book.
No bonuses that I can think of, right?
No, not no.
12.
Surprise. That'll do it. So you get your hands on the book.
Opposed strength checks?
Yes.
No, that's +9. Oh, hell yeah. 28 strength check.
Yeah, so you wrench the book from his hands and take off down the hallway.
I take off down the hallway, down the stairs, and run.
Yeah. What is your unseen servant doing?
Oh, I don't give a fuck. I mean, it's going
You, like,
to
leave it
dissipate within
behind.
30 feet really quickly.
Okay. So you go running down the stairs, pushing past scholars and library goers as you go.
Okay.
So I think at the end of that round, you make it to actually 20 yards. That's not even that far. I mean, so you make it like around some bookshelves, and you're making your way toward. You're not even at the staircase after this first round. This is a
120
huge
yards?
building. You're
The library's
basically
that big?
it's like 1,000 feet across.
Holy shit.
So you can make it to like the north wall. I assumed you headed like east down the bookshelf and then like around to the next aisle.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're still on the third floor. Roll initiative. Actually, no, he goes next. Yeah, I mean, you can hear some shouting from over the other side of the bookshelf, but you don't see anyone approach. You brush past a couple of people as you're running, and you roll initiative again.
Okay, where is that? Here we go. 10 plus 3. 13 initiative. Lovely.
13. No, that won't do it. However, you do not see any sign of Gareth, and your round comes. There are some confused people, like, sort of, I'm like, why is this guy running in the library?
I want to increase my speed from to the next category and proceed to run down the stairs and outside. Or as far as I can make it.
Done. So you can make it to the stair. So you can increase to 240 yards, right?
Right. I believe.
Yeah, so you're able to make it to the base of the bottom floor. Base of the staircase.
Okay.
And roll initiative again.
12. If jogging isn't fast enough, you can make a successful strength check to move 3 times his normal rate. If he rolls with the -4 penalty, he can quadruple. The -8 penalty, he can quintuple.
Mm-hmm.
Continued running requires a con check every round, with penalties depending on how long and how fast the character's running. Okay. So, on the next round, I'm going to boost to triple speed if I can make the strength check, and then I will have to make con checks at -1. Starting then.
Yeah. So you are able to sprint straight out the front door.
Okay.
You brush past the guard who's and you're running down the street.
Trying to boost faster. Strength checks is successful. And here's going to be a series of con checks. Just to see how long I can keep this up. Because I'm going to run right back to the Oasis. Oh, I can keep it up for 2 rounds. The 3rd round is when I falter and slow down to a walk.
How many rounds?
So 2 rounds of triple movement. So 1 at normal, 1 at double. I guess 3 rounds, because the first round I don't have to make that con check. So sprint for 1 round, sprint for another round, sprint for another round. At the start of the next round is when I fall apart and like slow to a stop and catch my breath.
Yeah, so I think you make it to about the crossroads and you sort of come panting to a halt. You're in the middle of a crowd and you look around and you don't see anyone chasing you and panting to catch your breath.
I think I lost him. Well, let's go back to the Traveler's Oasis then. And I head right back to the Traveler's Oasis.
All right, you head to the Traveler's Oasis. It's still, it's not even noon. There's a small crowd gathered for lunch, but mostly unoccupied.
Excellent. Well, I head on in. No one would be foolish enough to head right back to this place that the other guy met them and where they knew he was staying. It's such a stupid idea. It just might work. So I head in and ask for a room.
Sure. 4 silver.
Okay. I cough up the silvers and I run upstairs and greedily hoard my book.
And I think with that, we'll go to our second break.
Okay. See you guys on the other side. Bye-bye.